Good. Okay. Welcome to everybody who is watching this live stream in replay. I do these once in a while. I don't plan them. I very likely should, but I don't at this time. Maybe I will in the future. And just know that I'm glad you're here, and I hope you hear something and feel something that makes you want to come back and join me and participate in one of these. We've got a first person, Blanton Stamey. I wonder if I'm saying that right. Hello to you too, my friend. Hello to you too. Hope you're having a good Sunday. Where are you from, by the way? La Saga says, hey, how's it going? Oh, I got it right? Clemson, South Carolina, awesome. What time is it there? What is that? Is that 3 hours ahead? So maybe 11 or something like that? Devastation Squad says, good evening. Evening to you as well. Hey, no, what's good, my man? Nothing much, man. I'm doing my first live stream with my new camera, so this will easily be the nicest looking live stream I've ever done. I know you guys come here for that. But I'm doing good. Hope you're doing well also. Devil faces. Perfect. Audio. Does the audio sound okay? If one of you is willing to let me know, that would be great. Digital Zombie Studio says, ooh, what camera? I got a Sony a7S III, and I was investing today, or I was going to invest in a nicer webcam, because I've realized that I've always done these just on the computer camera, and I've always thought that the image quality was lacking. Did a little research, found out that it is not a big deal to use your mirrorless camera, which I was super excited about. Yeah, that 4K live stream. Absolutely. Lasagna says, I'm a demon with it. I like that. Bennett Mark says, yeah, looks good. Good. Devastation Squad, good. Audio is good. Awesome. Thank you, guys. So what's the word? What are you guys up to? What are you thinking about this weekend? Where are your lives at? If anyone is willing to direct this conversation, that'd be great. I want to hear from you. I want to answer questions if you have them. I want to talk about whatever might interest you that you might want to hear me talk about. And I just want you to know that I'm grateful for you. I'm really glad you guys are here. That's for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I like that better. Punith, oh, there we go, says, hey man, big fan. Thank you, I appreciate that. I do. Digital Zombie Studio says, I'm jelly. I have the Sony a6300. I want to upgrade. Yeah, I looked at that camera for a long time, and I just never made that decision. But I'm glad I finally got a nicer camera, that's for sure. Punith Kumar says, I hope you're healthy and staying safe. God bless. Back at you. I definitely am, and I appreciate that. Sending that sentiment right back to you. Andrea Special says, hey yo Noah, how's it going? How's it going? Bennett Mark says, I'm going to go on a run here soon, charging my phone first, but life has been great the past months. Wow, that's awesome. Good. I'm glad to hear that. and I'm curious to know how far you're going to run. Lasaga says no FAP. FAP happens, not very often, but it does happen. Insane Shane Production says howdy Noah. Howdy Shane. Was the good word, my friend. Digital Zombie Studio says, did you ever have bouts of insomnia? I mean, I had trouble sleeping for a long time. When I first had a breakdown back in 2011, 2012, they put me on Seroquel for quite a while to try to mitigate sleep issues. So I used that off-label. So I would say I had insomnia there, and then more recently in my addiction, when I was abusing alcohol, of course, that would put me to sleep. But then, as you might expect, the nights that I wasn't drinking, sleep was atrocious. It was bad, riddled with anxiety. My sleep hygiene right now is really good. Well, it's good, and my sleep tends to be pretty good also. Oh, Chad. Chad! How's it going, Chad? I continue to be humbled by you. I'll say thank you a million times. I will also continue to let you know that seeing your face on here, how about this? Consider yourself lifetime super chatted, that I will always go digging for your comments. For everybody else, my man Chad Allen here, I don't know how many dollars you have donated or supported the channel with over the years, but it's a lot, and I appreciate it. He says, no easy, what up homie, what's the word? It's just a Sunday night testing out this new camera, like I was telling to a couple people, or saying to a few people earlier. Just wanted to upgrade, and so I'm using my Sony a7S III right now. Had a really good day. Got to go hang out with my mom a little bit, get some work done this morning. I just missed you guys. I just wanted to do a live stream and say hi to you guys. So what is up with you? Tell me about your weekend, and I will track your comment down, and thank you for your support. You're a real good guy. Tom Balbazowski says, hello, man. Hope you're good. I went through the last year, relapse after relapse, finally 30 days today with AA. Tom, that's a really, really big deal. I think those first 30 days in particular are just so important, and they can be very difficult, and they can be very stressful. So good on you. Stay the course if you have good reason to be sober like I do, and check in with me. Let me know how you're doing. That's awesome. I had a rough year, 2020, as far as my drinking goes. It was real bad for a long time. So Bennett Mark says, a little over a 5K run. 5K, oh nice. I run about 3.1 miles every day, or try to. The California weather has been destroying me. What's been the California weather? I hear California weather and I would just assume it's awesome. But running every day is awesome. Good for you. Alexander Jeremy DePietra says, how is your blood pressure on TRT? Blood pressure is awesome. My blood pressure has been really, really good on testosterone replacement therapy for a great long while. When I first started my TRT and I ate really, really poorly, my blood pressure struggled. I was also slightly over-medicated. So as my dosage has come down to a more reasonable space, and my diet and lifestyle have drastically improved, blood pressure has always been really good. I'm an athlete. I exercise and I take care of myself really well. So, Devastation Squad says, yeah. Shakiz means hello, my friend in Navajo. Wow. Been a subscriber for a while. Hope you're doing good and healthy from alcohol. Healthy from alcohol addict myself. I'm well. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm glad you are well. Really, really glad you're well. Nolan Summer says, how's your day, my guy? My day's good, man. I've had a really, really good day. My wife mowed the lawn. I think it's the first time. I think it's the first time she's ever mowed the lawn. So I think that's kind of cool. I think that's exciting for our family, for her to. And she mowed. What's that? Okay, she's mowed the back lawn. Granted, good call, Jess. This is the first time she's ever mowed the front lawn. So she's been taking care of our home. I got some work done earlier today and got to send out an invoice for some work I've been doing, which felt good. And I was social. I went out to lunch with a friend. I got to see my mom. I went and picked up a couple of things for the channel that I think will be good for video. Now I'm here with you guys, and this is where I'm trying to focus my energy. Right here, right now. Just be here, be with you guys. See if I can just make your day this much better. You guys are definitely making my day that much better. Insane Shane Production says, same here, Tom. Keep going strong. Before AA, I wasn't able to string a few days together. It's a godsend. Yeah, I've got a good sponsor. I do incorporate it in my recovery as well. Jeremy Ross says, love your videos, man. They helped going through some hard times over the last 3 years. Thank you, Jeremy, for sharing that, and I'm glad to know that. I really, really am glad to know that, and I hope you're doing okay today. Mahogany says, hey, brother, I'm 26 and half bipolar and had a blood level of 318. Because of you, I'm on TRT, and it's helping me a lot. Yeah, any guy who might be watching this who doesn't know, this will be a forever part of my story, and I think it's a really important part of my story. But I found out a long time ago that I didn't have much of any testosterone running through my system, and when I addressed that and went to my doctor and via multiple blood draws, once that started to become a part of my treatment plan was to regulate that, it made it easier to address depression, it made it easier to address anxiety and all those things. So I'm really glad to know that, and I think you guys should all check on that just to make sure you're doing okay. Make sure you're doing okay. John Money says, have you read Mark Lewis, The Biology of Desire? I haven't. On my bookshelf over here are so many books that I would like to be more mindful of making time to read, because I've got loads of them. But I'll put that on my list. I'm going to add it, and I appreciate you letting me know it's there. Bennett Mark says, a couple of days ago it was 90. Oh, geez. But right now it's 75. Perfect for running. We've been getting a heat wave. The summer is going to be harsh. Gotcha. Okay. Well, get out there, man. Don't let me keep you. I don't want to be someone who keeps anyone from working out. That's exciting. 75 is perfect. Lou Guy says, love you, Noah. Really glad you're doing well. Love you too, brother. Thank you. I'm really glad I'm doing well also. Edwin Rashidi says, do you have any tattoos dedicated to your recovery? You know, that's a really interesting question. So I've got a handful of tattoos. I've got one on my chest, this side, excuse me. And I love tattoos. And I've been thinking about getting a tattoo as related to recovery. I do have Thy Will Be Done on my back, but I want to be patient with that. I don't want to rush it. I am a very, very, very humble and sober alcoholic, or man in recovery. I've got 7+ months, and I think around the 2-year mark would be a good time to do that. Will S says, hey. What's up, Will? Lucen says, are you still fully recovered from DPDR? Absolutely. The only thing that can mimic DPDR, for those of you that don't know, that's depersonalization, derealization. The only thing that can cause that to even pop into my head is if I'm underslept, over-caffeinated, or over-sugared the morning after, let's say, eating a bunch of ice cream or cookies or something like that. Occasionally I can get a feeling that reminds me vaguely of it, but otherwise, no, I'm doing well. Will S. says, I prayed for your father. I appreciate it. I'm someone who believes in prayer. I think prayer is important. I think prayer is powerful regardless of whether or not you're religious. I just think the act of putting that out into the universe is good. So thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, sweet. Rude Sky Sing says, good morning from Sweden, which is, I just think that's so cool. So good morning to you, or good night to you, good evening to you from Portland. Prashka G says, hey Noah, good morning from India. Wow, we have someone from Sweden and from India here right now. That's awesome. Good morning. Prashka G says, how is Dr. Paul? Is he okay? He is okay, but there's just a lot going on. So my dad and my partner in crime from my other channel, he's going through a hard time. I made a video about it on my channel, on his channel. He He's a lifelong passionate MD. He had his medical license suspended. He's in the process, or in a form of due process, to try to get it back. And it's been very stressful for him because he loves being a doctor. So he's okay, but he's going through some hard things. That's for sure. Leslie Karen says, hi, I'm from Indiana. How would you navigate through a relationship with someone who is recovering? So thank you for asking that, and I'm happy to share my thoughts on that. I think the most important bit of advice, and maybe you've heard this before, but I can't help but reiterate it because I just think it's so important, is that you, Leslie, focus on you. So navigate the relationship by becoming really, really good at taking care of Leslie. Make sure that you're managing your thoughts, your feelings. Make sure that you are up to speed with addiction as far as what to expect in early recovery from the person that you are with. That you are getting comfortable and familiar setting boundaries, that you understand what your boundaries are and what your wants are versus those needs, that you're modulating your stress response, that you are taking care of yourself. I just think it's the most important thing any of us can do in regards to how to be able to show up in a healthy way for ourselves, of course, but then for someone who's in recovery, for someone who's an alcoholic or a drug addict in recovery. I know that is a blanket statement, but there's so much truth to it. So the healthier you are, the more self-reliant and autonomous you feel, the better likelihood that you won't needlessly personalize difficult aspects of being with someone who's in recovery, and you'll be able to support while not being codependent. I hope something there helped. These are my thoughts. Justin Hoskins says, I hope things are going okay, brother. I just finally got myself medicated and have been feeling the best I have in a long time. Good for you. Good for you. Things are going more than okay for me. I'm learning and adapting and living and integrating. I'm doing well. And I'm just so happy to hear that you are too, and that you're getting balanced out with whatever you need for your personal situation. Chen Xiaoqing says hi. I did my best on that. And hello to you. It's good to see you. Bennett Mark says, oh, trust me, my man, I have a good relationship with exercise and supporting my favorite creators. I'm always straight up. I won't be here for the full stream, but most of it. It's awesome. Thank you, Bennett. I appreciate that. And thank you to all of you that are taking, I don't know if you're here for a minute, 30 seconds, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. I don't take it lightly that you're taking any time out of your day to spend with me. So thank you. Thank you, thank you. And if you've never left a comment, if you've never jumped in and tried to direct a conversation or ask a question or said hi, let me know how you are, you should. I think it's very, as bonding as it can be over the internet, because at the end of the day, guys, it's just me and you. I mean, there's a few of us here, which I'm grateful for and I'm humbled by, but you're going through things, I'm going through things, I'm a person, you're a person. Just write me. Get in the comment section, say hi to me, allow me to speak directly to you and say hi to you too, okay? Okay. Jack Stevens says, hey Noah, started TRT 3.5 weeks ago. I'm 24 with testosterone of 300. Just wanted to say thank you so much for helping others who might be going through it. You are welcome. The very least I can do, and I think this is something that all of us can do, the very least any of us can do is to be open and honest when possible, when appropriate, about our experience, what we're thinking, what we're feeling, what we've been through, how we're navigating it. It lends itself well to connecting, and it really helps with identification. If someone's going through something I've been going through, but I didn't know how to put words to it, I didn't know what to do, maybe I was dealing with some trouble processing it, it might enlighten me, right? It might open me up to something that could change everything. So you are welcome. I will continue to at least do my best to be vulnerable about my experience, just in case it can help, which I know it can. Krylope says, hey, I've started doing quick videos of myself talking about my addiction because of you. Any tips for vlogging? Good for you. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, my tip for anyone about vlogging or creating content is just to continue to create it. Set a schedule, make a plan, don't make any excuses, continue to upload. If you hold yourself accountable and you continue to upload no matter what, the technical side of things, the audio, the video, the fluidity of your thoughts and your ability to express yourself in a good way, an effective way, I suppose is what I mean. It just gets better over time. So the most important thing is to just keep going, keep uploading, keep doing what you're doing, find your voice, find your passion, find your niche, and then continue to learn how to make good videos. And undoubtedly, someone will benefit from you doing that. So good for you. Chase H says, have most of your vials been those 10 ml Cipla vials recently? I've only seen the small 1 ml vials. No, I still have the 10 ml vials. That's all I get for my TRT. It is, oh, it is Cipla. I didn't even know. I didn't even know that. But yeah, it's still the 10 ml one. I don't know if you can see that, but. Okay. Okay, so. Where are we at? Uh, 11JF, 11J1F1, Ghost in the back. Oh, there's Ghost everywhere. Lumen. Nicholas Ware. Hey, yes, my guy. Hey, Noah, finally made it with the time zone differences. Hell yeah. Hey, anyone who's watching this video, particularly guys that are on TRT, or you're looking for someone to talk earnestly about fitness, wellness, mindset stuff, go follow Nicholas Ware. He is a good, talented, and useful person on the online space. So this isn't a pressure plug, this is a genuine plug. Go follow Nicholas Ware, W-E-I-R. And it's good to see you here, Nick. Dylan Randall, thanks for being you, Noah. You've inspired me to start making videos. Good. Dylan Randall says, wow, hey Nick, small world. Good, good, good. That all makes me feel really good. Jack Stevens says, I started watching your videos many years ago dealing with depression, DP, anxiety. It's interesting how I ended up having extremely low T for my age as well. Thank you for sharing your story. You are welcome. Thank you for sharing that with me. I think more guys than could possibly imagine would come to realize that their hormone profile is likely not what it should be. And I'm not one of those people that inherently thinks that to treat that, the only solution is to get exogenous T. I really am not. I think just awareness is really important. I think the more you know about yourself, the more likely you are to start correcting perhaps lifestyle behaviors or at least the factors in your life which are personally adjustable. I think there's more likelihood that you'll do it if you have tangible, undeniable information in front of you. So blood work is important. Hormone profiles are important. That I will yell that from the rooftops. From the rooftops, man. John Money says, what would you say is the most important aspect of testosterone deficiency you've learned? I think I might have this problem. The most important aspect of it? I think the most important aspect prior to beginning treatment is just understanding that the symptoms of low testosterone greatly mirror the symptoms of mental health distress. Depression, anxiety, sleep issues, even stress response, rumination, things like that. If you have extremely low T, I just think it's very likely that that is a great adding factor to those things. Sorry, I just got really, really loud because of the bathtub. As far as being on TRT, I think one of the most important things I've personally learned is that less or more does not equal better. I was over-medicated to begin with, which wasn't a decision of mine. It was a decision of my doctor, but over time I found out that less can be better, and more frequent dosing up to a point is definitely better to mitigate peaks and valleys. Those are some of the things I've learned. And just being patient. And also, now I'm suddenly thinking of a lot of things, but I think it's important not to put all your eggs in that basket. I just think it's important to remember that it's a piece of the puzzle. But I have struggled with mental health issues on TRT. I've struggled with being overweight and being unhealthy in general on TRT, believe you me. So it's just one of those things that can help, but it's not a be-all, end-all solution. Lou Sen says, thank you. Got DPDR after 15 years sober. Can be scary. Well, 22 years. Wow. Good for you. And yeah, that it can be scary. And congrats on 22 years. That's the dream. That was the dream. Awesome. Edwin Rashidi says, I know your building better boundaries, but how are you currently dealing with unexpected triggers? Look, triggers are my world right now. I mean, everything I do, honestly, is about managing triggers and activations and being a thoughtful, mindful person. It's definitely obvious to me that I drank to calm and quiet these uncomfortable thoughts and these unusual, I would think, feelings about how life impacted me. And now that I choose to be sober, and now that I very much want to be someone who's always present in his life, based on the fact that I am someone who suffers from the disease of addiction, knowing when I'm activated, knowing the difference between what to take personal and what not, using tools like Triple C, catch it, check it, change it, tools like ABC therapy, identifying activating events, belief systems, and consequences so that I can dispute them. It's absolutely everything to me. And I'm currently dealing with unexpected triggers by just constantly practicing these tools. More importantly, and I think everyone should put this on their radar. There's 64 people here. Put this on your radar. If you get upset about something or something feels off, try using the tool Triple C. Do a little research. It's called catching it. That you're activated is all that means. And activation means a hormonal response. Someone cuts you off when you're driving. You're activated, right? You're triggered. Catch it. Recognize that something is happening so that you can take back control. I suppose I can speak for myself, so I can take back control. Check it. Did that person violate my rights? That's a big one. I ask myself that question all the time. Do I know why I'm upset? If I'm not sure, it doesn't matter, but can I prove that something bad has happened to me? That my rights have been violated? That it was done on purpose? Whatever is coming up, and then change it. Know that, yeah, no, I can't prove it. I'm probably okay. Oh man, I could talk about this for days. It's just really important to me. But the most important thing I think any of us can ask ourselves, take this with you, put it in your pocket. When you're upset at something, some place, someone, a person, place, or thing, ask yourself this question. This is something I am literally constantly asking myself. I did it today. I asked myself this today. I said, are my rights being violated? If the answer is not yes, it's usually how I respond to a situation. It simplifies things for me. I love this topic. I'm going to move on, but I could talk about this so much because learning to deal with agitation, learning to deal with people, and learning not to be needlessly sensitive, learning how to soothe myself, validate myself. Boy, is it uncomfortable, and it takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of practice. Yeah, don't get me going on that. I can just keep going. Joseph said, prolonged use of prescribed opiate medication caused my low testosterone, 78 nanograms per deciliter. That is low. People don't really talk about how much damage opiates do to your endocrine system. Maybe people are unaware. Yeah, I just don't think it's a commonly discussed thing. I still think that we minimize and often trivialize the reality of addiction in people's lives, the reality of unhealthy behaviors, the reality of the impact mentally and physically and emotionally on prescription medications and things like that. So yeah, I think there's a lack of awareness. I think there's a stigma that's still associated. It's why I'm always someone who wants to be open about my experience and talk about these things so we can just start talking and start learning together. Some guy 676 says, have you seen Chase Knight's Instagram? I haven't. Leslie Kieran says, I kind of feel he's pulling away from me. I think that he could be my future. I think that he could be my future. I think that he could be my future. Yeah, Leslie, I mean, you might be right, but that might be a perception. That's more of a thought than a feeling, right? And I don't mean that to sound condescending or patronizing, but I think that is one of those thoughts that is best discussed because you could be mind reading, and I think it's important that you talk about it. And I think the best person to talk about is him. So I encourage you to go to him, and this is something that's been really helpful to me, and maybe this will help someone here. But when I'm perceiving that I have a conflict with someone, or if I'm starting to take toxic ownership over other people's behaviors, wondering if I'm the cause or if they're directed at me, something that you can say that I think is really, really good at tempering stress and allowing for relatability and connection is just to say these words. My brain is telling me that ... I wonder if it's true. And you can say these out loud to someone. My brain's telling me that you're pulling away from me. I'm not sure if it's true. I was wondering if we could talk about it. It really helps take the attack energy out of something that might be threatening. I mean, that comment, if I heard that from someone, depending on the space I'm in, and definitely depending on what I'm dealing with, I could get defensive, for example, or I could feel triggered myself. So I hope that helps. That's where my head takes me. Ben Pulliam, formerly God Knight, wow, that's a long one. Hi, I'm doing good and pretty tired because it's 9:15 p.m. and I have school tomorrow. Good man. What grade are you in? Or are you in college? Are you in university? I'm glad you're here though, Ben. Prajka G says, hey, do you have pets? We would love to see them if you don't mind, of course. It just randomly came to my mind. And is it a cat or a dog? I do have dogs. I will go track one down. I'm going to go track one down. One sec. You guys stay here. I'll be right back. Oh, Ellie. No, not quite done yet. They wanted to meet the dogs. I won't be on that team. Yeah. No dice on the dogs. They're in the backyard. AKA their favorite place on planet Earth. So I'm not going to go there. But I have 2 dogs. I don't even have a picture. What kind of dog dad am I? Aiden Ross Rewind says 16-year-old, I'm assuming, and have bad DP. It drives me crazy, man. Had it worse today because of my anxiety. Yeah, that is something that has to be considered, Aiden. First of all, or if it's Adin or Aiden, I'm sorry you're going through that. I empathize for you. I believe in you. I'm here for you. I understand. I understand what it feels like to go through that. It's very uncomfortable and it's very anxiety provoking. And here's the thing, anxiety exacerbates it. It makes it worse. And so my best thing I could tell you is that it's going to be okay. And it is your opportunity to manage that anxiety and do everything you can to relax, to come into the space that you're in, become aware of the room that you're in. You can use identifying tools like 5 things you see, 4 things you smell, 3 things you can touch, stuff like that. Take a warm bath, make the space you're in smaller. Sometimes when I was going through depersonalization, derealization, one of my biggest issues was that I was in environments that were just too much. They were too stimulating and they were upsetting my system. So if I got smaller with my situation, environmentally speaking, it often got better. But just know that I'm pulling for you. I am pulling for you. Shizakov. I lost track of where I was. Let's see here. All right, we'll get back on track. Leslie Clean says, my dad is a recovering alcoholic. Good for him. Leslie also says, my dad and I haven't had a relationship. That's hard. That's really hard. I hope you're getting support about that, because that's a really tough thing. Bennett Mark says, all right, Noah, my friend, I am off on my run. I appreciate you and your content. Much love, my man. Have a great rest of your stream. Later, everyone. Adios, amigo. Have a good run. Loose End says, feels like dementia. Mr. Cat says, getting harder and harder to avoid talking about the redacted and the injectable thing. Appreciated your video on it the other day. The redacted and the injectable thing? I'm not entirely sure what video you're referring to be honest. Oh, yes. It can be hard to avoid talking about controversial personal issues, political issues, things that a lot of people want answers for. And I encourage everyone to remember, or something I remember, is that I don't owe anyone anything as far as my personal information, as far as my personal thoughts on things. I can keep things to myself. I can handle that, and they can handle my privacy. So Jeremy Angel says, 8 months sober today. Let's go. Your videos have greatly helped. Thanks, bro. Dude, we are on a very similar time frame here. I am just about to be 7 months sober, so you are paving the way, my friend, and I appreciate you doing that. That's rad. Good for you. Randy Shellman, maybe? I follow you regularly, used to be an addictions counselor. Wow. Now I moved and am a regular mental health therapist. You have the skills and good people around. I'm sure you got this. I definitely do. You do important work. I admire you for it, Randy. I just think I can't believe the help that my therapist was able to offer me this last go around when I was in rehab for 5 months. His name was Billy Grande. Another therapist that was incredibly impactful to me was Nevin Andrews. And these men have genuinely changed my life forever. So I know the power of a good therapist. I also know that some therapists don't work for some people, and I encourage everyone who's struggling internally with something to find the right therapist if they can. Thank you for the encouraging words, Randy. Shrilope says, thanks so much, Noah. That first video recording myself that I'm an alcohol was tough and brought me to tears. Thanks for everything, my guy. You're welcome. Thank you. Madison May says, have been watching you for a few years now. Finding you has kept me alive till now, so I wanted to say thank you. Wow. You're welcome. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad we are all here, at least for this moment together. I really am. Beach Mom says, just tuned in from Central Florida. Hey, that's cool. Nicholas Ware says, you're too kind, brother. Hey, I'm just keeping it real. Beach Mom says, hit that like button. Thank you. Kirsten, hey, says, hi, Noah. Hope you are well. I am. Thinking of you. Hope you're well also. Trenton Paris says, what year were you born? I was born in 1987. With each passing year, it's sounding further and further away. I wonder why that is. Leslie says, I want to get into healthy food habits. Yes, I think that's something we can all strive for. And I think another thing to add to that is just healthy food mental habits, right? Healthy food relationships. And having a healthy relationship with diet and the foods we take in, the reasons we take them in, and all that. So good for you. I think just being on that journey, being gentle and patient, and just easy about it is good. And I think it lends itself well to growth. So Nicholas says, damn, hey Dylan, yeah, very small world. Good. Green Eye says, hi Noah, glad you and your wife seem to be doing well. Stream, perfect time for me today. Need some sort of community feeling today. Good. Yeah, we're all here together, which is kind of rad, right? So I'm glad I could provide that. I wanted that as well, and I'm glad we can all be here together. Eric Cruz says, thanks, Noah. You have helped me with my anxiety, and I am now very confident with myself and started involving fitness in my life. Good for you, Eric. That's awesome. I'm glad I could help. Slam QTube says, hi Noah, I'm 42. I did my blood work. My testosterone came back at 614 and my free test 100. I get in touch with TRT clinic and they just jumped into prescribe me 200 milligrams a week of testosterone. Wow. I certainly couldn't comment on your personal medical history, your story, a treatment option. I can say at a glance that your numbers certainly appear to be pretty good, but I'm no professional. I just would encourage you to maybe get second opinions, be mindful of risks and benefits, all of those things, and do whatever is best for you. But yeah, 200 a week with those numbers that's a fair bit. That's a fair bit. You continue to say, I had the impression that they just wanted to close the sale and there was no intention of promoting any change or health or better in my life. You might be right. I'm not sure. But it's your opportunity to take that information and run with it. I mean, numbers that high, assuming you're eating well, sleeping well, managing stress, maybe get repeat labs, stuff like that, those are pretty swell numbers. And I think it would be ideal for anyone to do their best to prolong their natural production. And when you start TRT like I'm on, and I'm grateful I'm on, it's genuinely helped to save my life and keep me here on this spinning rock. There really is no going back. It's very unlikely that you'll go back. Dylan Randall says, me and Nick went to elementary school, wow, together and are now both the same live stream over 10 years later. Wow! If that's not a higher power moment, I don't know what is. Yeah, dude, that's absolutely insane. That's crazy. You win the, that's what a small world. I get it now. Damn. Joe Anderson says, hi, Noah. I have suffered from anxiety, depression, DPDR for 4 years. I'm only 21. I finally got my hormones checked, and I have to go on TRT. Levels are extremely low. Any advice before I start? Hey, my advice before you start, if you know for sure that you are, is that help is coming, that things can get better, and that you're going to be okay. So my advice is just to be very, very patient. Continue to educate yourself as much as you possibly can. And know that sometimes when you're first starting TRT, it can take a while to adjust. It can take a while to find the perfect dose and the perfect regimen and the perfect frequency and the rhythm of administering, things like that. So my advice is to be patient, be nice to yourself, and be hopeful. I think you have reason to be hopeful. Kirsten says, I would love to hang out, but it's almost 10:30 in Minnesota. I need to be up at 4. Yikes! For the gym. Hope you all have a good night. And a good week. You too. Have a great workout. You're loco for working out that early in the morning. Jess, I'm going to... Hey, there's a ghost in the background. Right there. I'm going to live stream for 20 more minutes. Is that okay? Where you? Oh, which store? What are you getting? Just that? Okay. And other things? Contemplated asking you to get me like a mint chip halo top. But I probably am good. You sure you're good going alone? Okay. Yes, I'll be ready to. I'll be done in about 20 minutes. Okay. Love you. You're a real badass. Pardon me, friends. Just saying bye to my wife. Let's see. Ringa Schwab says, having trouble going 2 days sober. Well, oh, there's one of my dogs. There's one of my puppies. Don't you poop. You're walking around sniffing like you're going to poop. Don't you better not. Not a girl. Good girl. Aringa says, having trouble going 2 days sober. What would you say has been your biggest replacement for alcohol? Connection. I think my biggest replacement with alcohol has been a massive, massive influx of connection. I think addiction for me was very isolating. It disconnected me very effectively from everything and everyone. Alcohol became my source of connection, my source of feel-good. And one, I had to detox. And if you can't go over 2 days, it sounds like you might be more dealing with detox that will need its own support. I don't know how addicted you might be. I don't know if you are addicted, but if you can't go more than 2 days, it's very likely that you're struggling with the physical aspects of coming off. And there's psychological aspects of that as well. But the biggest thing for me was replacing that isolation with just tons of connection, emotional connection, spiritual connection, personal connection, social connection, anything to get my brain firing and wiring to feel something. And that took some time. I mean, it was a really rough first 6 weeks. So it's sort of like there are just different aspects of this, but I'm rooting for you. I'm really rooting for you. Fossil Sue says, hi from Sue in NB, Canada. Canada. I'm going to go with Canada because I'm having trouble thinking of what NB stands for, but hello. Welcome. Good to see you. It's awesome. You're really need to push. Yeah, so UMM is giving Aringa Schwab some advice, saying the first couple months are the hardest. You really need to push hard, and then you gain more control from my experience. Yeah, it's been mine as well. I mean, me right now, 7 months sober, being supported, working a recovery program, being very mindful of my circumstance, I feel like a superhero compared to me at the end of my addiction. I was just a warped, lost, incredibly ruled person. I mean, alcohol ruled my every being. Every fabric of my being was warped by alcohol. So I'm a very different person today. 1M Nut says, did TRT help with dissociative symptoms? Yeah, TRT helped with everything. It made everything a little bit better, that's for sure. Anthony Caracciolo says, hi Noah, I appreciate your honesty and openness. Thank you. I appreciate you being nice enough to say that, so thank you. Jack Stevens says, hey, I was curious if you would say TRT was one of the largest pieces of the puzzle when it came to improving your depression and anxiety. It made me happy to see you doing so well. Love from California. Yeah, it definitely was one of the biggest pieces of the puzzle. I just made the mistake early on of thinking it was going to be the only thing. Like I used it as a crutch, and I used it as an excuse not to better myself, not to continue to investigate cause and effect, my past trauma, addiction, other mental health stuff. You know, there was a time that I overly leaned on it, and I don't judge myself for that. I was desperate, I was tired, I was sick. So big piece of the puzzle, not the cure-all. That was a mistake as far as outlook. Beach Mom says, my brain is telling me, must be from a previous comment. Nicholas says, it feels surreal. I hope you're well, Dylan. Good, you guys are talking. That's good. Jose Hernandez says, hey Noah, it's great to see you. I appreciate your shares and just got into recovery when I was 32 years old. I'm working to get 3 years and I plan, hold on, let me start that again. Jose Hernandez says, hey Noah, it's great to see you. I appreciate your shares and I just got into recovery when I was 32 years old. Got it. I'm working to get 3 years and I plan to get back on track with my health. Good. Good for you. There's no better time than right now to reclaim your one shot of this life. That's for sure. Ben Pulliam, formerly God Knight, aka Ben, senior in high school. Gotcha. Good. Almost done. I have a lot of empathy for anyone graduating high school or going into high school in such a strange time. So thoughts are with you, young gun. Anthony Cariciolo says 11:30 in NY. It's late. Never been. Cuz says, I'm having trouble lighting that fire. I'm at rock bottom and it's still not enough to make changes in my life. Bad decisions and huge financial losses. I don't know what to do. TRT isn't helping. Look, do anything that you're willing to do. I think, in my opinion, right? I think sometimes I've struggled in the past with this idea that I was going to wake up one day. I was going to wake up one day and be ready to be a completely different person. And it's never been my experience. My experience has been that the smallest common denominator, the path of least resistance, whatever I was willing to do, it was better to do that than to attempt to do everything and then fail or to set the stage too high. So if tomorrow you get up and you commit to drinking enough water and you do that for a few days, that could be a good place to start. If tomorrow you get up and you know you're going to make your bed and you get used to making your bed for a few days or a week or two and that's all you do different, that could be a good start. If tomorrow you wake up and you go for a 5-minute run and that's all you do for the next few days is you're going to get outside for 5 minutes each day, that can be a start. I think the more habits that we can get used to building consistently, however small, however trivial that they may appear, the better we're going to have, the better likelihood that the bigger things that we want to do are going to happen. The days are short, depending on, I guess, your mental health, but just start stacking tiny little wins. Stack those little wins and earn those credibility points within yourself and see if that gets you going. But otherwise, just know that being apathetic, being hopeless, being in despair, it doesn't mean that you are forever going to be this way. It certainly doesn't mean that it's true, the hopelessness aspect of it. So keep talking about it. Give yourself a break. And tomorrow's a new day. Tomorrow's a new day. Jehu Dunda says, I love the energy, bro. Positive vibes. Hell yeah. Positive vibes for sure. Absolutely. And thank you. 1M Nut says, DPDR is insane. I recovered almost 100%. Then I got a concussion and got post-concussion syndrome. That's rough. Sorry to hear that. Insane Shane Production says, gotta head to a meeting. Take care, Noah. One day at a time. Love from Eugene. One day at a time. Thank you. And have a good rest of your night if you happen to still be here. UMM says, DPDR is something I got when I was around 15, 21 now, and mine's has never went away. There was one There was one time in my life where it vanished completely for 5 minutes and came back. Anyone else? Just know that I'm rooting for you. I'm sorry to hear that. I know that when it was on me, like really on me, I didn't think it would ever go away. And it just eventually did. So there's always hope. Keep looking. Keep digging and check out your blood work. Make sure your hormone profile is good. Mr. Cat says vaccine and COVID. Yeah, I knew what you meant from earlier. Jake Maciosek says, turning in from Naples, Florida. Rest well, my friend. Thank you for being here with me. Rubdews says, congrats on 7 months. No, I've been watching the videos on every stage of your journey. A year sober myself and learning it was only the beginning of healing. It's all part of the story. God bless you. Yeah, God bless you too. I'm really, really excited to see who I become and who I meet and what things might happen, assuming I'm willing to just keep checking that box every morning that I stay in a reality-based behavior, that I stay reasonable, that I stay truthful, so that I don't have to slip back into denial, so that I don't have to slip back into horrible addiction like I was in. It was the freaking worst. Colorado Brad says, 6.5 years sober here. Curious about your travel abroad. Have you explored different environments, sceneries, cultures to gain new perspectives? I've found that I can rely on those good travel memories should I falter. I really like that. Thank you for sharing that. I have not really traveled abroad. I certainly haven't done that in a long time. I was in Germany for a day, which hardly counts, but I still got to explore Frankfurt for a day. I was in Zimbabwe, Africa for about a week. That was pretty meaningful, and I'm glad I had that experience. I've been to Canada a handful of times. I've been to Mexico once. I'm half Mexican. Tengo familia en Mexico. I really, really want to get back there. I want to get back there. So thank you for that reminder. That's a good reminder. A box full says, what are your thoughts on sobriety and grieving your history? There's grief like the death of a loved one, but I also see themes around grieving other changes and would love to hear your perspective. I think it's important to grieve your history. I don't exactly know what you mean. I think I do, though. I know that for me, it was really, really important for me to kind of mourn the loss of this life that I had, because there were good aspects about it, right? And there certainly was a reliance upon it, and there was there's a pain, but there was also a safety in my identity. Like I knew what to expect, so to speak, in my addiction. And being sober can be really, really scary, and being with yourself can be really, really scary. So I think something that I've done a lot in the past, which I have to continuously be mindful of now, is not to deny anger, not to deny stress, not to lie about things I don't like or things I'm scared about or things I'm overwhelmed with. So when it comes to grieving my history, I've done a lot of that. I also had to grieve my lost childhood and understand that innocence and that safety of my childhood was never there for as long as it should have been. That was a big part of me learning to stay sober this time, was acknowledging that I had trauma from my childhood. There were things about it that weren't right, that weren't safe for me, that weren't consistent for me. This from a developmental standpoint. I was raised by two very well-meaning but two very flawed human beings who, in context of what I just said, as pertaining to that flaw, is that they were both in their addiction when I was raised. So I had to mourn that and grieve that and feel a lot of things. So balancing like emotion with logic and thought as opposed to being hyper one or the other. Wish I could clarify a little more and chat with you, but I hope that offers you something. Matt89 says, hey, no, I'm a huge fan of yours. I'm humbled, thank you. I too am struggling and want to let you know how much you've encouraged me. Much love, man. Good, that encourages me right back. And much love right to you, or back to you as well. Thank you. Justin W says, hey, if you have T levels that fluctuate between low and low-end average, what do you do in terms of doctors? So I'm not entirely sure what you mean, but if you're trying to figure out what do you do in terms of finding someone who's willing to take your low testosterone serious, you just continue to look for a different doctor. Doctors work for you. They advocate for you. That is their job. So if there's a doctor that is not giving you a standard of care that you think you deserve and you're not in denial about your intentions and your motivations, then keep looking and don't give up. Sinit Endom says, Big No No is my favorite YouTuber. That's cool. Yeah, that humbles me. Thank you. It makes me feel real good. Really does. Jared S. says, I found you originally from your OCD video. How bad did your OCD get? Here, boy. I have thought my way into absolute, I don't know if I can stay alive for another moment to spare. So my pure OCD, more specifically, my proclivity for worry, my inability to reason with myself, my cognitive distortions that were ever present in my addiction, they led me into one of those corners so many times. I was like, I can't get out and I have to make this stop, that it made drinking, it made it very obvious why I would continue to run back to drinking, because I wasn't processing my thoughts and my feelings in a healthy way. My OCD got terrible. My pure OCD. And alcohol, of course, right? It soothed it, but it also made it so much worse and made it so I had to rely upon it more. I could talk for days about this, but it's taking me to suicidal places. And I have to be on top of it every single day. And my live stream chat just shifted down. Let's see. Where were we? Joe Anderson says, it's crazy how, because of you, I came across how important hormones are. I'm 21 with 240 nanograms per deciliter. I'm not hoping for a miracle on TRT, but I'm hoping it will jumpstart my recovery. Yeah, I think it certainly could. For those of you who don't know, when you hear Joe here say he's 240, the average 25-year-old for total testosterone should be around 750. Ideally, though, it would be even higher, but we just live in a very stressful world. I don't think the 24-hour news cycle is very helpful. Our food is more inflammatory and toxic in process. Our water, our air, all those things, boy, do they create a bit of a storm for healthy hormone levels. Male, female, old, young, I don't care who you are. Check your thyroid, check your testosterone, check your vitamin D levels. Get that info. Do yourself a solid. Matt89 says, New Brunswick. I don't even know what that's referring to. I just remembered that I want bananas. So I'm going to text my wife and say, can you grab me some bananas? Thanks, girl. You a real one. Where are we? How long have we been doing this? How long have I been doing this? What's going on here? Okay. Yeah. Been at this for a good little while. An hour. Cool. I'm going to do this until she comes home. Team. Thank you guys for being here with me. I'm going to keep chatting with you and just soaking up this good energy until she comes home. Stony Gamer Network says, Noah, it's been a while since I caught a live stream. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, man, I am. I hope you're doing well as well. Thank you for checking in with me. It means a lot. Means a lot. Fossil Sue says, thanks, Matt89. Good. Madison May, headed to bed for college classes tomorrow. Good for you. Happy I caught part of the stream today. Night, everyone. Stay strong. Good night, Madison. Saying hi from South Korea again. Wow. Your videos are inspirational. Helping. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I guess I can't read this name. But our friend from South Korea says, helping me a lot to keep myself clean. Thanks for your work. Thank you for being open and honest and sharing that with us. That's really cool. Faith Vargas says, hi Noah, I've been struggling with this one intrusive and obsessive thought for about 6 months, you poor thing. Now, and it bothers me kinda a lot. I'm sure it does. Do you have any tips on how to get rid of it? Faith, I'd have to talk with you. I'd have to talk with you to know what you're going through to see if I could share something that might help specifically. That said, I am not at this time a healthcare provider, a mental health care provider. I'm just a person sharing his experience. But I encourage you to look into, well, one, talk about it. Find someone professional to talk about this with. I think that is it's a no-brainer, right? But two, I think that you should look into something called ABC therapy. Whatever you are obsessing about, plug it into the format of ABC therapy. The activating event, right, whatever it is, the thought or the situation that you can't go over, you can't let go of right now, the belief system that it created, whatever that is. So for example, my wife didn't say hi to me when she came home. She just walked right past me and went upstairs. I got activated, right? My hormones flared and I thought something was wrong. The belief system, for example, just to give you some context on B for ABC therapy, is that she's mad at me. I did something wrong. She doesn't like me, anything like that. The consequence is that I'm anxious, I'm annoyed, I'm angry. And dispute it, D for ABC therapy, the D in that scenario, and of course you would apply this to yourself, would be that I don't know that she's mad. I haven't asked her. She didn't violate my rights. She just walked in and went upstairs. Do I know for a fact that she's angry with me? No. So I'm okay. Yes. So the ABCDE, my effective new belief system, is that my wife just walked in and went upstairs. And that if I'd like to talk to her, I can go up there and ask her. But otherwise, I'm safe. That's just an off-the-cuff example. So plug in whatever you're obsessing about, write it out, look up some information online about ABC therapy, see if that can help. But beyond that, you might need some support. You might need professional help, someone to help you stay reality-based, stay objective, stay pragmatic. So consider that as well. Ooh, a live or a super chat. Let's see. We got a super chat from Jordan C. Thank you for that, Jordan. Thank you for supporting the channel. It means a lot. It says, hey Noah, what type of training do you attribute your physique to the most? Have you done much bodybuilding? You're looking great, bro. Love ya. Don't know ya, but I love you too. Thank you, Jordan. I attribute my physique mostly from, I had a good base of muscle. I did a lot of bodybuilding for a great many years, but my only method of training has been CrossFit training for about 5 or 6 years. That is what allows me to maintain the physique that I currently have. But more than that, Jordan, because I think any amount of training that includes some weight training and some cardiovascular respiratory training, stuff like that, can be sufficient. I think the greatest thing that has helped me to achieve my physique has been learning how to intermittent fast and put that tool in my toolkit, and then understanding eating windows. I guess that's intermittent fasting, but just diet. I think as my relationship with food improved, as my stress has gone down, and as I have learned to feed myself better, I've gotten a better physique. It cannot be overstated that you can out-eat a training regimen. So I'm training about 90 minutes to 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. And even still, if I really was reckless, I could gain weight and gain fat doing that much training. So, yeah, thank you. I appreciate your comment. I really do appreciate the support. Guys, if you ever want your comment to just jump to the top, this is how you can do it, by doing a super chat. That said, I'm grateful you guys are all here. I don't need anything from you other than some of your time in these situations. I'm super happy. So Jordan, I hope that helped. I always want to give a little extra oomph to a super chat because someone's paying me their hard-earned money, which is really rad. Vicious30 says, have you ever cruised before or always PCT? I've never ever done more than TRT. I've never blasted, or I've never run a steroid cycle or anything like that. Ben Spears says, I've been watching for your videos for years. Thank you for your openness on topics it's hard to talk about sometimes. I'm currently back at the doctor to get back on TRT. I'm 28 years old with 300 nanograms per deciliter. Ben, you're welcome. I'm rooting for you. Thank you for being honest. And I hope it gets better and better for you, okay? Keep checking in with me, please. Forgive me, guys. 1 second. Okay. Let's keep this going. One M nuts. That's someone responding to someone. Matt United says, 1 week sober and I feel great, but what happens when the sober high wears off? That's what has relapsed me in the past. What happens? Yeah, well, it's going to, right? Yeah, life is going to settle back down. Your brain chemistry is going to settle back down. The novelty and the nuance is going to settle back down, and there's certain things that you will have to contend with, which is that your mind is going to be looking to rebalance. And what I learned in my addiction ed curriculum and treatment is that for the first 30 to 40 days, if you are a drinker or drugger of my type, you're going to be in what's known as a disease state, which means that your brain is going to do what it needs to do to try to get you to go back to your DOC, your drug of choice, from a survival perspective, which is wild. But that's what happens when your mind has been warped or rewired through addiction. That's what modern addiction medicine tells us. That's what modern addiction studies tell us. So I think that getting support, being hyper aware of the reasons you want to, understanding that you very likely cannot trust your thoughts right now in a great many ways. That's a tough pill to swallow. So anticipation, understanding what's coming is important. Knowing about PAWS, post-acute withdrawal syndrome, which is just essentially a slew of symptoms that you're going to experience, mental, physical, things that are going to happen when you first get sober that are going to make you uncomfortable. And there is light at the end of that tunnel, but it is work. There's a reason addiction is so prevalent. There's a reason it's so hard for so many people to stay sober, because it's uncomfortable to be sober, especially at first. And it takes help and practice and time. So I could talk about this a lot. I have a lot of thoughts about this, but I'm going to start you there. I'll be rooting for you. I am a chronic relapser. It's a part of my story, and I'm really, really thankful to be off that hamster wheel today, because the truth is I thought I was choosing to drink again when I would try to get sober for a day, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7. But addiction was choosing for me. I was battling against more than I realized. So good luck and get help if you really need it. If it's not working on your own, like it wasn't for me, get help. You're worthy of that help. One M Nut says, I'm almost 34 now and still have some level of derealization 19 years in. It sucks, man. I'm sorry. Andrea Speciali says, dude, micro habits have changed my life, so I second that. Huge. Good. 1MS, microdosing mushrooms help me with depression. Good for you. Jordan C says, hey Noah, I started TRT 2 months ago. You've been like my older, more experienced brother that I can look to for guidance. Your videos have been incredibly helpful. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad that I could be that for you. That's nice of you to say. Okay. UMM says, I agree with the habit thing. I started watching you when I got DP 6 years ago, and from smoking weed. Fairly common, actually. For the first time, and got attached to your vids. You're a good guy with good advice, legit. Thank you, and I hope you're doing better. Quiz says, so I've been trying to get sober. I've been an alcoholic for years, and I want to get sober, and yet I can't. I flunked out of rehab, and I don't know what I can do. Just don't give up. I certainly can't tell you what to do. I don't know what's going to be that thing for you. I think that getting sober and understanding sobriety it's everyone's a little bit different, and I've really learned that. The only thing I can say from my personal experience is that I didn't ever give up, and I flunked out of rehab multiple times. This last time going to rehab, October 5th of 2020, was my 3rd time, and I met men in treatment that were on their 10th time, 15th time. One of my counselors had gone nearly 20 times before it stuck. The only way you lose to addiction is if you don't survive one of your sprees, and that's just a reality that we have to be mindful of. Overdose, drunk driving, accidents, they can happen, or your body gives out if you're an older addict or an alcoholic. But as long as you can stay alive and you keep trying, you have a chance to get sober and be the person you were always meant to be. So just know that I empathize for you. I have given up on myself so many times, but I've for whatever reason, by the grace of God, by luck, by fate, by support, who knows, I've just continued to try one more time, and it's devastating. I mean, it is devastating to continue to try to get sober and fail, because how do you not personalize that experience? How do you not take that on? It's hard. It's hard when so much is at stake, and that was my experience. So much was at stake. My marriage, my health, my friends, my life, my finances, my sense of self, my self-esteem, everything was at stake, and I kept drinking anyway, and it was so heartbreaking. Gosh. Just don't give up. Yeah. Okay. I think I want to be an addiction counselor someday. Zeru in Solution says, I know what to do, but something holding me back. What is that? What is that? Is that only me? Or no, it's not only you. Keep digging in to figure out what that is holding you back. Sometimes you never know when you're moments away from getting like the keys to the castle. You never know. That aha moment, that life-changing moment, it could be just moments away. It could be just a moment away. So don't forget that and keep going. Keep exploring. Dustin Gorlier says, so if you're no longer drinking at nights, how are you spending your time? So many ways, but mostly in like the week, for example, I'm coaching and training CrossFit. So basically Monday through Friday, I'm at my CrossFit gym, both coaching and then training and then running a competitors club from roughly 5:30 to 8:30 or 9. Actually, it's more, 5:30 to 9, sometimes 4 o'clock to 9. So I spend a lot of my evenings with like-minded people that are sober, that are happy, that are hungry, that are working hard in more ways than one on the hunger. We CrossFitters eat a lot of food, but that's where I'm spending a lot of my nights. At the gym. And the weekends with friends, with family, with my sponsor, doing recovery things, stuff like that. Zero in Solution says, I've been waiting for you about 2 months. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here, man. I'm glad we could connect a little bit. Merlin Lang says, gotta go help girlfriend move in. Good man. Just wanted to drop in and see you live for the first time. Been watching you for several years now. Wow. Keep on the good struggle, brother. Best of luck and staying strong. Thank you for taking a minute out of your life to pop in and say hi to me, to check in with us. I appreciate that. And good luck with the move. I get asked to help people move a lot. It's a real thing. Quid says, I'd like your opinion if you think rehab is worth another chance. For me, it's rehab or another path that I don't really want to travel down. Well, your comment makes me wonder what that other path was. And yeah, all I can speak for is my experience with Treehouse Recovery. Rehab, that third time, as much as I didn't want to go and I was fighting it and I was over rehab, because I'd gone earlier in 2020, by the way. I went to rehab twice in 2020. It was like the last thing I wanted to do. Like, God, I have to find another way to get sober. I can't possibly do this again. I'm so tired. It's not going to work. Kicking and screaming. But I just had a little faith, and I just went. And it was very, very uncomfortable and very difficult at first. But it was so worth it. It changed everything. It saved my life. Uh-oh. Ooh. Oh. Camera died. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Still here. Hold on. Camera died, team. Hold on. Let me figure this out. Okay. I think I have to call it, guys. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get video capture device. Let's see. Can you guys see me? Is it back? Uh-oh. Hey, okay. Oh man, I don't know how many people I may or may not have lost. My nice camera just pooped out on me. I thought it was being powered. Um, anyway, okay, I'm still here, and it looks like you guys are still here too. Sorry about that. Okay, yeah, we're back. Mental note. That camera will not last forever. All right, let's answer a few more questions. Let's see. I think I just heard my wife. Yeah, fate. Okay. Oh no, we got an unhappy person on this live stream. Let's go ahead and excuse Kay Gregory. Okay. We'll do 5 more questions. My wife is home. It's time to say goodbye. But we'll do 5 more questions. Here we go. Aunt D, were there any symptoms of DPDR that most people wouldn't think would be a part of it that you experienced, and how long did it take to clear up? I mean, I had a pretty classic DPDR experience. I was feeling disconnected and derealized from my body. And forgive me. I think maybe the light thing. So I was very sensitive to light when I was struggling with DPDR. And I think I had to be really mindful of being in bright and big open spaces. So that might be one of them. And I'm doing much better now. Quid says, even now I've been drinking a bit tonight. God damn, it's okay, man. I don't mind that you're here after you've been doing some drinking. That's okay. You're in a safe place. I got you. I understand. I was Mr. Drink 24/7. So, Princess Vanilla Coleman says, proud of you, Noah. Thank you. A Box Full says, thanks so much for your thoughts. You're welcome. Amanda C says, my husband just came home from rehab. Okay. You have been a big inspiration and a large source of knowledge while he was inpatient. Thanks for everything. Any advice as we transition back into our own lives? My advice is to be really patient, Amanda. Really patient, not just with him, but like with yourself. It's taken time for Jesse and I to get used to integrating with one another. It's really important for us to be mindful of old dynamics, old habits that were not serving us. So getting therapy, getting counseling, getting educated, and taking extra good care of ourselves. And for you, taking extra good care of yourselves, your wants, your needs, your boundaries. Get to know them, learn how to express them. Let your cup runneth full, right? So that you can be a good support system, but also just a good support system for yourself. And just be patient. I'm so thankful for the men and women that hang in there and don't leave the men and women who are addicts and alcoholics. Yeah, I could say a lot more, but I'm rooting for you. I think you know that. Matt89 says, Noah said my name. Heck yeah. Hey. Let's do... yeah, okay. Guys, I have to let you guys go. I'm going to let you guys go, rather. This has been a wonderful live stream. I'm really, really thankful to everyone who has been here and spent some time with me on a Sunday. I would like to start these earlier in the day so that maybe we can hang out a little bit longer. But just know that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever you're going through, I'm here for you. I care for you as much as one can in this sort of medium, and I'm grateful for you. That is for damn sure. That really, really is the truth. So 1 day, 1 hour, 1 minute at a time, we can get through what we're going through, and we can do hard things. I'll see you guys in my next video. And if I never see you again, just be nice to yourself. Take care of yourself. And yeah, just be well. All right. Thank you guys. Adios.